rebuilding. The catastrophic failure, a new start. Physically, mentally, our careers, our businesses. Step back, first step, next step. The driver in me just wants to get it done tomorrow. We'll do this, do that, let's move this, where are we at with this? You build some confidence, build some self-esteem, start to feel better about yourself. The Silverback Blueprint Podcast, a show for men over 40 who focus on getting stronger, staying motivated, building discipline, creating a community, and becoming truly happy. Hey guys, this episode of the Silverback Blueprint Podcast is brought to you by none other than Hostile Gear. You know what's really cool about Hostile Gear? It's a really great line. It's my line. Really cool quality. And I like to talk about it a lot on the show because right now it's our current and only sponsor of the show. So as that changes, we'll come up with some other stuff. It's funny, I did have one company reach out to me, but not quite a fit what we're doing. So I really don't want to, bring on a sponsor for a show that doesn't kind of fit what we're doing, what we're all about as well too. No matter how many rolls of quarters they offered me, I just wanted to make sure that, we keep this fun, we keep this cool, but we keep it in line with who we are. We're lifters, we're guys. So I want to keep it to that level, right? That kind of stuff, so that it sort of is congruent with who we are and what we do and stuff. So I'm hoping for a sponsor for some sort of firework company or a detonation company, something cool like that. We're going to hold out for those kind of things overall. You know what I mean? Blowshitup.com. I wonder what that website's all about. You ever think that? You think of an idea and you .com it and you go check it out and you're like, oh my God, why does it always end up being big penises? That's the other thing that throws me off. I mean, no matter what it is, like, what did someone tell me? The whitehouse.com is actually like a crazy porn site or something like that. So maybe it's more true than we realize. I don't know. So last episode, I told everyone to go out and buy leather belts and walk around and make a statement. So a couple of you guys did that, and that's unfortunate that you took that advice. But nonetheless, thank you. Thank you very much for that. That'd be pretty cool to see if that keeps going. We're always coming out with new shirts, new designs. It's a Canadian powerlifting company for Canadian powerlifters, although I will gladly ship it out to anyone in the States and stuff. We're all brothers in iron, and that's super important to me as well. So thanks for the support so far. And listen, head on over, and if you do grab anything, make sure to use the code Silverback at checkout and save 20%. Right? So if you didn't get a chance to get your big powerlifting belt to walk around and go do grocery shopping, go now, use Silverback, save 20%, and give them all something to talk about when they get back home from their grocery trip as well. Guys, today, episode 40, I want to talk about getting back to the deadlifting. This episode is going to air sometime mid-November, and those of you guys that know me or know of me or whatever know that I'm a big bench guy. I love the bench press. I often get kidded for not being a power lifter because I don't like to do all three lifts. I'm a bench specialist. I have a theory that everyone ends up being a bench specialist as they become injured deadlifting or squatting. But back in October 28th, we did it's weird because I'm talking about in the future because I haven't done it yet. We're a month behind on our, I guess, when we release podcasts. So currently it's September, and in October 28th, or on October 28th, to use better grammar stuff, we're going to be competing at a breast cancer fundraiser powerlifting event, and I'm going to be competing in the deadlift. And that's a pretty rare occasion to see that kind of thing because I don't deadlift anymore. I did a lot when I was younger. When I first started lifting, I benched, I squatted, I deadlift, and I had a pretty good deadlift back when I was, and here's that classic, when I was younger bullshit. But you know what, when I got into lifting, I had a good deadlift, around 600 pounds, and I squatted a high 5 back then. And this is in my 20s and so. And then as I started to get more into the bench because my bench really sucked and I started to focus on that, I didn't hit the other lifts quite as much. And I felt I just didn't have the passion for the other 2 or 3 lifts. Now, in my normal training, I do a lot of body weight squatting. I do a lot of catcher squats with the kettlebells. I am doing a little bit of barbell squatting now to a box just to work, the hips and the back, but it's not the sport level for me. It's not the competitive level for me. And, every once in a while when I get back, I'm like, maybe, I'll do this and I'll compete in it. And I'm like, you know what? No. I just don't have that passion for it. My hat's off to any lifter that competes in those lifts. I respect anyone who competes in anything. But I just don't have that desire and that passion to want to do it consistently and to do it to that level that, I'm going to throw it all out there. However, I have made an exception for this deadlift competition because it's a fundraiser. It's a friend of ours. really cool girl named Rebecca Pitt. She's the girlfriend of a really good friend of mine, Scott McDermott, longtime benching buddy and stuff. Powerlifting buddy, and they're just some good people. And Rebecca, like a lot of us, has been touched by the cancer story. Someone close to her has had to deal with it. She loves powerlifting. She's fairly new to it, but she's doing extremely well. And she just wanted to put it all together. When you can put a passion and a love together for a good cause, it's a pretty win-win thing. So she contacted me a few weeks ago and said, "Hey, I'd like to do a powerlifting meet. I'd like to do a fundraiser for cancer, and I want to do it, ladies only." And I said, why do it just for ladies? Why don't we have it for guys and girls? And we do it, again, to raise money for breast cancer. So that's what we're doing. And basically what we're saying is that it's a $100 entry fee, but, we encourage you to take a pledge sheet and raise that kind of money. So what I said I would do is I would deadlift in this competition. And I said, if I raised $100, obviously I'll do it. If I raise $200, I'm going to do it in a Bigfoot outfit. And if I raise $500, I'm going to do it in a Bigfoot outfit wearing a tutu. And there's a few reasons for that. One is I'd like to raise some money and do something positive, obviously. But at the same token, the sighting of me doing a deadlift in a competition is much like the sighting of Bigfoot. You've heard about it. You don't know if it really happens, but if it did happen, you'd really want to see it. So that's the whole thing. And maybe one day I'll talk about my dirty secret passion for the whole Bigfoot lore and the whole phenomenon, stuff like that. I think that's what happens. Everyone that has a podcast, eventually all go to the point where I believe in Bigfoot. So maybe that's a prerequisite to have a podcast. I don't know. Luke will have to poll his other podcasters to find out. Just hold up like a Bigfoot sign in front of them and see how they react. It's like an ink blot. So that's going to happen October 28th, or in the case of this podcast, will have happened October 28th. And what's cool is, so obviously I'm deadlifting once a week now as part of my training, usually on Thursdays. I don't have the courage to do it on Mondays because, Mondays are tough enough as it is. And, even though I know it's not my passion lift and that kind of thing, I still want to do well in it. And then dealing with, and kind of some of the stuff that's coming out of it is that it is frustrating to do work on a lift and not be instantly good on it, right? Either because I'm rusty or because I have to work on some mobility or I have to just get fucking stronger doing it. And dealing with the whole, in comparison to my bench press, I'd be, at my last meet, I benched 550. My goal is to get to 600. I'm struggling getting 400 pounds off the floor with the deadlift. So it's kind of, I kind of laugh at myself at the same time. But at the same time, the 18-year-old in me doesn't like that, obviously. Now, it's completely logical. I don't train the deadlift. I could walk up any day and pound out a bunch of reps at 315. I have that base strength. But to build a 600 pound, a 500, a 600, a 700 pound deadlift and beyond requires a tremendous amount of focus, dedication, perseverance, skill set, and consistency. And out of those four things, when it comes to deadlift, I have less than one. Now, flip that over, look at my bench press over the last 30 years, I have all of that. Even when I stepped away a bit from the bench, right? I knew that getting back to it was the key, was consistency, and all the other stuff would fall into place. And that's why I built my bench back up over the last 3 years. In fact, I'm benching heavier now at 49 than I ever did before. I'm living a clean life. I'm healthier. I'm more focused. It's part of my passion, who I am. So it's so much easier to make sure I hit 1 to 2 bench workouts a week. However, dealing with the benching once a week, the deadlifting once a week, I really have to make sure it's programmed into my week. I have to make sure that it gets done, because it's so easy, just to say, oh, fuck it, I'll do it next week. Oh, my back's a little sore, that kind of stuff. But also, one of the real things that I have a hard time with, and again, it's just the guy in me, is that I don't feel it's heavy enough. And you know what? I hear this when a lot of guys talk about, they want to compete in powerlifting, but they're like, well, I'm not strong enough. Now, I sit back and go, dude, don't wait till you think you're strong enough. Start competing, and you will get stronger in it. You'll get much stronger in it when you sign up for a meet, because now you have a line in the sand, you have focus, there's a reason why you're doing it. You'll ramp your training up. You'll be a lot more consistent. And really, that's what's happening here. So I've signed up for this powerlifting meet for the deadlift. It's a fundraiser, so it's a great cause. I know me going out there and doing it, a lot of people are going to want to see me deadlift because they've never seen me deadlifted. So, you probably have 1 or 2 extra people in the crowd because of that. But because I've committed to it, I'm training it. And again, when I first started 5 weeks ago, like 225, I'm like, oh my God, I hate deadlifting. The other day I pulled a 425. If you look at my Instagram, I showed a video of me doing a 375, and then I missed the 425. Then I got pissed and went back and pulled the 425. Of course, I didn't think to videotape it because it was kind of a last minute, second attempt at it. So of course, in the internet world, if there's no video, it doesn't exist. It didn't happen. But deep down, I'm also kind of glad that I'm deadlifting, and I don't want to admit it, but I am enjoying it. Now, do I see myself all of a sudden saying, hey, I'm going to go to get that 750 pound deadlift? I think that's pretty far from where I'm at right now. And I'm like, hey, let's just stay the course. Let's just stay focused. Let's get to October 28th. Let's pull that deadlift. Will I pull 500? I don't know. Will I pull 475? I don't know. We'll see what happens when we get there. I'm treating it just like I would any other meet for bench press. I'm just working on, dialing it in and doing my meet prep lifting and stuff, and just getting better at doing it and getting more comfortable with it. So, but at the end of the day, it's for a good cause. It's going to be a lot of fun, right? I mean, that's really the big thing about it, right? Is that we're doing it for a good reason. We're getting together as the powerlifting community in our area, showing support for some people that have been touched by something that's important by them. The fact that, Rebecca's organizing this and wants to do something, I, completely admire that. And I want to support that. I wish if more people did stuff to help others, on a bigger scale like that, we'd have a better world. I'm convinced of it overall. So all those things make it a really good thing to do and a really positive thing to do. And that's real, the big reason why you see videos of me deadlifting and doing stuff. And there's a part of a lot of people that would feel uncomfortable showing that they're not really good at something. And I'm the opposite. I want to show people that it's not about being great at everything. In fact, you know what? You don't get good at everything ever. And you don't get good at something if you don't practice it, right? And if you're embarrassed by it, then there's something there, because you know what? I know there's some guys out there watching me deadlift that are laughing. I fucking know it. But I also know there's some guys watching me deadlifting going, son of a bitch, if Kurt can go back to deadlifting, I can go back to deadlifting. Or if I can, by example, show that I'm doing something that I'm not the best at and I'm not super comfortable with, and it is difficult for me to do physically and mentally, but I'm still going out there and doing it, then hopefully that inspires someone else to do the same thing that they're struggling with in their life, whether it's deadlift, whether it's eating better, whether it's just doing something they want to do and they're worried about being embarrassed, right? How many times have you been held back from doing something because you're afraid of what other people will think, or you're afraid how you will look? You're afraid you're going to exceed, right? And at the end of the day, anyone who laughs at you for not succeeding or something that you're trying at is a fucking idiot anyway, so forget what they say, right? They don't matter, right? At the end of the day, there's always a certain amount of people out there that want to see you succeed, but there's as many people, if not more, that want to see you fail. And that's just the shittiness of the human nature out there. So you've got to get past that. Find a reason to do something. Just fucking do it. And you know what? There'll be people out there impressed and motivated by the fact that you're seemingly fearless, because to them, they're fearful. Whereas inside, you're scared shitless and you're uncomfortable, but you're still doing it, right? And that's part of that process. That's part of the evolution of the character, of your stoicness, is that saying, hey, listen, I'm going to do that. And in fact, that's what we talk about in all our programming about rebuilding from the inside out, is that just do what you want to do, irregardless of what anyone else thinks about it, right? And you'll be happier that you did it, and you'll be further ahead. And the people that are motivated by it will be super proud of you. And the people that want you to fail will never be happy with anything you do too. So you've got to make sure that you never listen to those people and you get away from those people. And often those people are some of the people closest to you. So that's the fucking hard part with that shit overall. So that being said, deadlifting, dealing with some frustration, the guy factor, the competitive guy in me wants it to be 700 pounds overnight. But then the silverback in me also realizes that, hey, listen, just be consistent, be focused on the big reason why you're doing this, and enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, and learn something from it, right? And to me, that's a super valuable lesson here. I think that's the lesson to take from this, right? Is that it's just another experience, another way to do something different, another way to be a little more focused in the gym on a different workout day that's not bench press. And it'll all add up, and it'll make a difference somewhere down the line. Maybe not directly on the deadlift. Maybe it's just, finding someone who saw that, got motivated, and reaches out and thanks you for it. And, that can make or break a day for you as well too, right? So at the end of the day, Get out there, do something you've been wanting to do. Go fucking do it, and don't worry about what anyone says. Don't worry what it looks like at first. Don't worry what it feels like at first. Just go and do it and get some time and consistency in. You're going to improve. There's no way around it. Guys, that's all I got for today. Head on over to iTunes, please. Leave us a 5-star review. Subscribe. Tell the world about it. And I'll talk to you guys later.